All right, I think I'm back. Sorry, guys, little hiccup with Instagram. Just make sure if you could just give me a hint whether you can hear me or not. I'm trying to get everything to work. All right, perfect. Can everyone hear me? Is there perfect? Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Sorry, there was a little hiccup with Instagram. Just as you can see, I am learning this tech as I go, and it's a little different when it's not on your phone and it's on your phone. So, thank you so much for being patient and putting up with me, especially on these technical little snafus I keep having. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Please say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Let me know if you have any questions, anything you want me to answer, anything that you would like me to address. Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I know this is, well, just give me 1 minute. We'll get started soon. I just want to make sure that I'm providing as much value as I can to everyone here. And if you have any questions, anything in the past couple of days that you've seen me come live that you would like to ask about, that'd be great. There's always something that I have in mind. I definitely have a few things that I would like to address. And please make sure if you have any questions, I can be of service to you. I can provide value for your time, and that would be amazing for me to help you out with today. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming back on YouTube. I had a few people sign on YouTube as well, and they came back. Awesome. Awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my YouTube people. YouTube has its own streaming platform, which is pretty smooth. I like it. Cool. Awesome, guys. So let's get started. I think I wanted to address something today that one of my clients brought up with me when I was in the meeting, and I wanted to bring forth to you guys because I feel like it's needed in today's day and age. There's an old adage, an old saying that my senior mentor keeps telling me, and it's mind your money, mind your money. Why does he say that? I asked him that question because it was interesting for me. Usually people say mind your business, but when he said mind your money, something popped in my head where I asked him the question. I said, how do you mind your money? What is it that you have to do to mind your money? And he said, the only principle you need to follow is be loyal to your future self. And that kind of struck a chord with me. So anytime I talk to somebody and they give me, or they throw a curveball at me and they usually go, hey, what do you think of the market? Or what do you think this particular asset is like? And how do you think it's going to grow? I always say, risk is something where you cannot be disloyal to your future. So if you are going to take on risk, I think you should mind your money and you should be loyal to your future. That's the only way I feel you can make a good decision. So that's something that I enjoy looking at when I look at different investments, when I look at different strategies. Obviously, for a lot of my clients, losing money is not an option. So I always look at that option as well as making sure that they have the right kind of growth. Um, so the biggest question that usually comes to me, and if you have any questions, please put them in chat. Say hello in the chat. How are you? Happy Thursday. Happy Leap Year Day. It's the 29th of Feb. It's free. It's a free day. Okay, it's not a free day, but it's a free day every 4 years. So you get an extra day to just chill in February. Tomorrow March begins. So um, if you have any questions, anything, hello everyone in the chat. My YouTube folks, thank you for joining again. Sorry for the little error we had. So yeah, if you have any questions, please say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you do. Let me know what you usually do to make sure your money is loyal to your future. And that's something that I'm going to talk about today. So without further ado, let's get into it. I know it's a little late on the East Coast, so I want to make sure that everyone watching gets all the value that I can provide on this live. Again, guys, anytime you want to throw in a question, anything that you're curious about, please feel free to ask. And let's get started. So the question that I got from someone who doesn't know me, and they were on the live yesterday, and they actually reached out to me. And they said to me, Akshar, what are you doing different? You know, what is out there for us that you can provide that, you know, other things cannot, or other instruments or other people cannot? And I said, okay, that's an interesting question. So I got into it a little bit, and I really wanted to provide you guys with that answer. And more than that, I wanted to provide you with value based on that question. So for me, you know, when I started investing, when I started my journey in investing, watching from New Jersey, hello, New Jersey. For me, the biggest thing when I started was, you know, how do I make sure that my money does well for me? Coming back to why is and how can your money be loyal to your future? So one thing I want to bring up for you guys is the understanding that whatever you invest in, wherever you put your money, be loyal to your future self. Right? So the question was, how are you different? How are you better? Or, you know, what works for you, or what are you providing that, you know, is not being provided in the market? Or why you? Essentially the question was, why me? So I said, okay, I countered that with a question, and I'm posing that question to you guys online. What do you look for when you invest in any kind of vehicle, right? Now, the first thing is, I said to my client, who is now my client, was a potential before, I said, I look for growth. Anywhere you want to put your money, you want to look for growth. Now, I don't settle for just growth. I have to make sure that it's compounding growth. What is compounding growth? Right? What does compounding growth look like? If I put 100 in at 8%, I get 108. Now, I don't start with 100 again. I start with 108 at 8%. And I get not 116, because 116 would be 8% only of another 100. So it would be 8% of 108, which would be close to 117 point something, right? I'm not going to get into the mathematics of it, but compounding growth is what I want for my clients. It's more than just regular growth, right? That's the first reason I promise compounding growth. Second thing, I want to make sure that you have safety. And when I say safety, your principal stays intact. Whatever you put in, your principal should stay intact. Very interesting story about a gentleman, a wealthy gentleman, who said, you know, I want to buy a $500,000 car, a Rolls Royce. And a lot of people say, hey, you know what? I'd love to buy a car. Just go to the dealership, put down cash, and, you know, just have the car free and clear. And to me, it saddens me a little bit. If you have the money, you can actually use that money, take that money, put it in an account that gives you compound growth, And then based on that money, you can keep your principal intact and you can get the car financed where your principal stays intact and the interest pays for your lifestyle. How awesome would that be? That's what I promise. I promise that kind of safety, right? Then, obviously, the third thing, I want to make sure your money is accessible to you and available to you whenever you need it, right? So that's why I promise liquidity. Liquidity, simply put, is your money should be used when you need it. Not when it's convenient for the investment vehicle, not when you put it in an investment vehicle and it's gone and you have to wait for something to happen for it to come back to you, right? For example, if you put your money into real estate, say I buy a house for $250K, $300K, $500K, $1 million, whatever, right? Say $600,000. I buy a house. Now, if I want $100K from that $600K, or if I want all $600K back, what do I have to do? I have to sell that house. And if I sell that house, how soon can you sell that house? Can it happen tomorrow, day after, in a week, 2 weeks? Well, depends. But usually when you sell a house, it takes a few months, right? So is your money liquid or no? I don't think your money's liquid. So I promise liquidity. So you have growth, you have safety, you have liquidity. Any investment vehicle that promises you these three, is that a good vehicle? I think it's a great vehicle, right? It promises you these three main pillars. Now that can happen in many different investments. So I said to my client, I said, Mr. Client, you think these three are good? They said, yes, I think these three are great. I said, I'll promise you 4 more. He said, what? I said, yeah, I'll promise you 4 more. How about I promise you a tax-free retirement? That's a bold claim, right? How can I promise someone a tax-free retirement? Let me ask you this question. How many people you know are collecting Social Security checks? I'm sure you know a few. If you don't know someone, find someone who's collecting Social Security checks and just ask them this one question. Are they paying taxes on Social Security? That's a question to ask. Because if you are close to that age where you are collecting Social Security and you are paying tax on that Social Security, did you think that your retirement would have taxes built into it? Or did you think you would have a tax-free retirement? I think most people are not sure about this. A lot of people ask me, hey, what do you mean I'll pay taxes? You'll pay taxes when you get old and you have a Social Security income. Certain cases, there are exceptions. I'm not going to say everything has tax, but there are certain exceptions, and the quality of life will have to change for you for those exceptions to kick in, correct? So if I can promise you a tax-free retirement, would that be a good vehicle to invest in? I think so, right? So I took care of your 3 basic needs. You had growth, safety, liquidity. I'm giving you 7, right? This is the 4th one. The 5th thing that I definitely want to make sure you have is a slightly, I want to say harder bullet to bite. What I mean by that is whether you like this or not, and I'm being completely honest and transparent with you, I do not wish this upon anyone. I do not wish this upon my worst enemy. But at some point in time, whether you like it or not, disability will enter your life. You will be disabled whether you like it or not. Now, what is disability? Disability is defined by the 6 activities of daily living, right? And if those 2 of those 6 activities of daily living is not possible for you, you are considered disabled. Now, what if I tell you, even in disability, you can have an income, right? Usually when you have a job, something happens to you. Again, God forbid something happens, but if something does happen to you and you stop going to work, will they continue to pay you after your sick days run out? I don't think so, right? But if I can promise you or if I can show you there's a way for you to get disability income without worrying about whether you have health insurance or not, or whether it is coming from a current job or not, that's something that can be taken care of. Because if you have two of the six activities of daily living, right? You can Google this. It's called ADLs for disability. It's an easy Google that you can look at, and that will give you an idea of the activities of daily living, right? Disability income is another guarantee. Tax-free retirement is another guarantee. Now let's look at the sixth thing, right? Now let me ask you this. Who would like to get an income outside of Social Security for the rest of your life, right? I can promise you that there's a way for us to design your portfolio, your contract, your strategy in which you have guaranteed income for life. This is a guarantee that we can promise you based on your age and your strategy that you want to go. Because the younger you are, time is on your side. The longer you wait, there's a cost to waiting. We'll get into that in a second if we have time today. If not, maybe on another live. It's called the cost of waiting. As I said yesterday as well in my lives, I've said this, I think I say this every live that I come on. The best time to invest was yesterday. The next best time is today. Okay? So if you have a question, if you have something that you're curious about, let's talk more. Please put it in the chat so I can see it. If you are on YouTube, hold on one second. If you're watching this on YouTube, I can actually, yes, I can see the chat. Please make sure, yep, I can see the chat on YouTube as well. Perfect. So you started and you told me, Mr. Client, that these top three are the biggest and the strongest pillars that you look at when you invest. I said, guess what? I can give you 4 more. I more than double the benefits of you working with me. Now, here, number 7 we haven't talked about. Let me ask you this. You spend all this time, you do all this hard work, you make some money, you invest it, it's in a portfolio, it's in real estate, it's in some other instrument, it's an index contract, it's in a strategy that we recommended. You have this money. Now it comes time for you to transfer that legacy over to your next generation. Who do you want to make the decision about what happens to your legacy? Do you want the government to decide, or do you want to decide what happens to your legacy? Answer that question in the chat for me. You or the government? This is your legacy we're talking about. All that you worked for, all that you're putting all this money into, all these savings, all these compounding growths, everything that you have, who do you want to decide? Do you want the government to decide, or do you want to decide? If you have a question, just type it into the chat. I'll be able to answer. Okay, so you want to decide, correct? If you want to decide, let me ask you, if I can promise all of this to you and then make sure that your legacy is transferred tax-free, would that work for you without the government getting involved? Again, nothing wrong with the government, nothing wrong with paying taxes. I personally think the tax code is there to help people who want to get into the business for themselves. No matter what business you get into. If you get into business, guess what? The tax code is there to support you. If you have a good CPA, they will tell you this. Now, people get intimidated by numbers. People get intimidated by, oh, I don't know what tax code to follow. Well, guess what? All you need is a good CPA, and you need to understand that the tax code was designed for entrepreneurship. It was designed for people to go into business. It was designed for you to be an independent contractor. The tax code has all these benefits built into it. So I don't mind paying taxes. In fact, because I pay taxes, I have the facilities of calling 911 and making sure that I have emergency medical services or emergency services come to my door. Because I pay taxes, I can enjoy good roads. I can enjoy the quality of life that I enjoy today. So be grateful. Be grateful for the system because it works. Now, how you can understand the system and leverage the system, this is what legacy transfer, especially tax-free legacy transfer, means. So here, Mr. Investor, or here, Mr. Client, these were the three that you thought will define how good and how well you can play this game of investment. You said these three pillars means you're golden. I said, forget three, I'll give you seven. Now tell me, if I can give you seven benefits instead of three for the same money without taking away from your principal, would you like that? It's a simple yes or no question, right? I personally think this is a great thing that I can provide. This is a great service I can provide my clients. I want to make sure I add enough value to my clients. I want to make sure that their money, their legacy, their retirement, everything is taken care of in the best way possible, right? That is my goal. That is my mission, to make sure you mind your money. There's a beautiful saying, I forget what verse in the Bible it is, but it says, stand guard at the gate of your mind. That is where destinies are made. I'm paraphrasing, but it's an interesting way of looking at the way you think about not just your money, but how you mind your money. Stand guard at the gate of your mind, because when you go into the news, when you start paying attention to all the negativity that's out there, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, in market terms, they call it FUD, F-U-D, right? I'm not even going to write it down because that's how negative I think it is. But it'll throw you off. So stand guard at the gate of your mind and understand that this exists even in this market. This strategy that I just showed you, in these seven qualifiers, or these seven pillars, these seven benefits, they exist and they work for people over and over and over again. In fact, the companies that provide these solutions have been around for over a century. So you don't think they've been through the Great Depression? You don't think they've been through recessions before, the market crashing? Of course they have. And they've survived all that. And they continue to survive and thrive as we are talking today. So yeah, that's my mission. I just want to make sure I provide enough value to you guys. I want to make sure that I get on here and I give you as much as I can, as much knowledge that I have, as much as I have experienced. If you have any questions for me, and if I can't answer them, I will find the answer for you. Because for me, if someone is giving me the opportunity to be transparent, to be open, and to make me understand, to educate me, it would definitely work in my favor to understand how this works, and more importantly, the blessings that come from the generation after you. Right? There's no better feeling than to provide all this value and make sure that not only you, but your entire family can benefit from this particular strategy, this not just one product, but so many of them. But this whole idea of building generational wealth, right? I always, as a younger person, because I'm still young, as a younger person thought, you make some money, you save some money, you live, you die, and that's it, that's life. But then I realized, no, generational wealth is something that is a blessing for the people, not just while you're gone, but even before, even when you are alive. And if you can build that while you're alive and enjoy it and pass it on after you're gone, it's wonderful. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I think this is my time. I just want to make sure that I provided enough value to you. If you found this valuable, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, your family, whoever you think might need this information. Again, it is my mission to create wealth for families, to provide the kind of financial education that brings generational wealth into every family possible. Because I know this information was not given to me at the right time. And when I discovered this information, I jumped on it. I think it's a great service that was done upon me to to share with me and to give me this gift, because had I not received this gift, I wouldn't be here. So thank you so much for coming on. I truly am very grateful that you came on. Um, I will continue to go live, and I will provide as much value as I can, and as much as I can. If you have any questions, if you want to reach me, I think there's a little ticker on the screen somewhere. I think it's on this side. This side? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's on this side. There's my name, my email address. You can just reach out, email me. You can message me on Instagram. You can, I think my social media channels, my YouTube has my email address as well. Reach out. Whatever you need to discuss, anything you want to bounce off of me, any ideas, any thoughts you might have. I am looking to grow my team. I am expanding in my area. If you are in the New Jersey area and you want to grow, in fact, any of the 50 or 48 continental United States, I'd love to work with you guys. I am looking for 6 people on my team to grow my team in the next 31 days. 6 qualified people in the next 31 days. I want to make sure that I can create income for those 6 people, not just by providing investment advice, not just giving them the tools, but also giving them the education and seeing if that works for them. Again, if you know someone who is looking to make an extra income, if you know someone who can take action, who has the desire to create change in their life, I would love to be the agent of change for the better. And with all the gratitude in my heart, and with limitless thank yous for joining me on this live. Please share this with the people you know, so that they can benefit from it, that I can add value to more and more families, add wealth to more and more families, and provide the growth and the stability and obviously the blessings that come along with this kind of investment. So thank you again. It truly was a blessing. It's amazing to come online, to have you guys come online, join me in this live. And I love coming on, and I love sharing this information with you guys. So please feel free to ask me any questions, anything you want to talk about in terms of your finances, your investments, your income, and I would love to help out. Please reach out to me. I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening, and thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow.